Should you buy backlinks for SEO? Well, Chris Dreyer and me spent over $1 million on backlinks to find out. And in this video, I'll show you why Google hates when you buy backlinks, 3 methods you can use to buy backlinks, and almost no one uses the third technique, and it's by far the best one, and 7 types of backlinks you should never waste your money on. And lastly, how you can buy backlinks without getting nailed by Google. So like this video to show me you're ready, and let's dive right in. So the reason why Google hates when you buy backlinks is because A, it's against their webmaster guidelines, and B, because it works. And that's why they have the guidelines in the first place. They know they can't stop it algorithmically, so their next best tool is fear, and fear is a powerful deterrent. Now, before we go any further, let me make one thing clear. Your website can get penalized for buying backlinks or engaging in various link schemes, but your chances are nearly zero if you understand how to eliminate footprints. More on this in a second. Now, you might be thinking that buying backlinks is some type of underground practice, but the truth is that it's much more common than you might think. In fact, there are over 11,000 searches on Google every month for terms related to buy backlinks, like buy PBN backlinks, buy cheap backlinks, buy EDU backlinks, and even buy casino links. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Go to the marketplace on Blackout World and you'll hit the mother lode. Dating back to 2008, there are over 11,000 threads with vendors selling backlinks. And then go to Fiverr and you'll see over 7,000 link building services available right now. This sub-market within the SEO industry is huge. In fact, from 2016 to 2018, I was involved in this market and sold over $470,000 worth of backlinks and acquired over 500 clients. Now, you might be starting to see why Google hates the backlink buying market. And the reason is simple. It's nearly impossible to regulate. But there's a deeper question. Why are there so many people trying to sell you backlinks? Well, the reason is simple. Backlinks are one of the most important ranking factors in Google. But don't take my word for it though. Backlinko studied 11.8 million Google search engine results and found that a site's overall link authority, as measured by Ahrefs domain rating, strongly correlates with higher search engine rankings. Now, the next question is, what does it actually mean to buy backlinks? Well, there are 3 situations when you're engaging in link buying. Number 1, you're paying a vendor to get you a backlink. And this means you're working with a middleman who already has a list of prospects and relationships. So they'll be able to tap into those much quicker, which allows you to save time and not have to build systems to do it yourself. Downside of working with a middleman is sacrificing profit. In short, you're paying for the placement itself and the work that leads to securing that placement. But the big benefit of working with link building vendors is time, focus, and scalability. If you don't have to think about link building, then you can focus on other key elements in your business. And it's also easier to scale your link building if you're working with vendors because they already have the internal systems and the teams to manage high volume. The second situation when you're buying backlinks is when you go direct. And that means you're finding the link prospects, performing outreach, negotiating terms, and paying the website directly for the link. That also means you'll have to invest time to build these systems internally, but it is more profitable on a per link basis. And you can also use a hybrid model, which means you build internal systems and manage most of your link building efforts, but you can then use the vendors to supplement existing efforts if you're trying to scale or you don't want to bring on another employee to do that work. And the final link building situation isn't one you would expect, but it's acquiring other domains with existing link profiles. And on a per link basis, this is the most profitable technique by far. For example, we acquired the domain sociallystacked.com and it has over 20 DR80 plus do follow backlinks. Most link vendors would charge at least $1,000 for a single DR80 plus placement. For example, look at the prices for these backlinks. You can get a backlink on CNBC for only $193,000. Okay, I'm just kidding, but I seriously pray that no one would ever think this is a good idea. No backlink on earth is worth that much, but I digress. So if you do the math on the domain we acquired, it would cost over $20,000 to acquire those DR80 plus links. But it gets even more interesting when you look at the entire link profile. The domain has 9 DR90 plus links, 15 DR80 plus links, 55 DR70 plus links, and 49 DR60 plus links. And without even including links below DR60, that brings this domain's backlink value to $62,450. Or in other words, that's how much you would need to invest to get these links. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I only invested $5,000 to get this domain. That means I paid $39 per DR60 plus placement and did zero work to acquire those links. But listen, I'm not the only person who's benefited from this strategy. In fact, Neil Patel called me out of the blue one time to ask me about this technique, which I coined the merger technique. And not too long after our conversation, Neil acquired Ubersuggest in 2017 and redirected it to his site. And as a result, neilpatel.com inherited over 4,000 unique linking root domains practically overnight. And as you can tell, it made his organic search traffic explode. Now, here's the crazy part. He acquired Ubersuggest for $120,000. Now, while that might seem like a lot, look at it on a per link basis. He got over 4,000 linking root domains for only $30 each. And Neil's not the only SEO to take this approach. Brian Dean joined the party and acquired Point Blank SEO in 2018, and 301 redirected it to backlinko.com. And Brian's organic search traffic was roughly 73,000 per month at the time of the acquisition, and now it's 649,000 per month. Now, obviously, Backlinko's success is the product of much more than just the redirect, but it helps to get over 1,300 unique linking root domains from the most relevant websites imaginable. So with that said, acquiring other domains with existing relevant link profiles gets you the best bang for your buck when it comes to buying backlinks. But let's say you don't want to invest a big chunk to acquire a domain. That's okay, because I'm going to show you how to buy backlinks without getting caught. But as I mentioned before, buying backlinks is against Google's guidelines and will always carry risks. So if you're willing to take the risks, please keep watching. But before I show you, here are 7 link types you shouldn't waste your money on. Number 1, do follow blog comments. Number 2, generic directory links. Number 3, spammy donation links. Number 4, article directory links. Number 5, Web 2.0 links. Number 6, public blog networks. And number 7, fake .edu or .gov backlinks. So now that you know what link types to avoid, here's a quick framework for buying backlinks without getting caught. Number 1, select a keyword or page you want to rank. The safest option is to drive backlinks to content or linkable assets. However, if you're willing to take on more risk, you can hit transactional pages like category or lead generation pages. Number 2, determine your budget. How much are you willing to invest to rank? Remember, if you have existing website authority, you won't need as many backlinks to rank. And if you have no website authority, you'll likely have to match the competitors or even exceed them. And this should be based on number 3, examining the link gap. Okay, so let's say I wanted to rank for Miami SEO companies. I would first need to find the link gap, because this will help me determine how much I'm going to need to invest into link building. So what you want to do is go down here and we want to look at these competitors. So on the domain level and on the page level, we can see how many links they have going to their pages specifically. And this is useful because really what KD's doing is just really grabbing the average of this. So 21 websites is essentially how many unique referring domains we will need to be able to compete for this. But of course, that doesn't tell the full story, right? This is just how many links you need going to that specific page, but it's missing 2 key elements. First, it's missing what the DR is of the competitors. So we need to get the average DR of these competitors, because then we're going to get a better understanding of where we are relative to the competitors. So if we have, let's say the average DR looking at this is maybe 75 or so, and we have a DR of 30, it's going to be much harder for us to compete. But if our DR is higher than the average, then we know that this reading over here is pretty accurate and we should be able to get pretty far. So that's kind of the first stage, is looking at the page level gap that we have just from a pure quantity based perspective, and then also the gap on the domain level too. Very, very important. Now, next what you want to do is you want to go competitor by competitor and see where the authority of their links resides. So let's look at Thrive and we'll take a look at where most of the authority is as far as their links. Okay, so I went into the referring domains. We're going to click on do follow. And then from here, we're going to sort by DR so that the highest DR is at the top. And what I want to see is how many links do they have at each level of DR? And so it looks like they only have one link that's a DR 59, and then pretty much everything is 40 and below. So this basically proves that we don't need really high-powered links to be able to rank for this. We just need some decent links to really be able to rank for this well. So this is really important because you don't want to over-invest into your links. You don't want to go out and get a bunch of super high-powered links when you really don't need to do that. So we can stay in this range and probably do pretty well, or just go a little bit above. So this is how you identify that link gap. Once again, you want to look at the link gap on the page level. You want to look at the link gap on the domain level. This is more of the authority gap. And then we also want to look at the gap we have here at each level of authority. And then all we have to do is just model the competitors as far as the types of links that they've acquired. As a general rule of thumb, the most relevant links are going to be best. And if we can get relevant plus the appropriate authority, we're really going to be doing quite well. Number 4, you need to look for opportunities. So find vendors that allow you to handpick your backlinks. So let's say I want to improve the performance for Miami SEO companies where Gotcha SEO ranks roughly number 7 and has maintained that position for a long time. Stagnation is a signal that you need a backlink push. So the first thing to do is look for Miami-based opportunities. Wasn't able to find any, so the next best option is to look for Florida-based opportunities. And the 3 opportunities below are perfect because they're geo-targeted and they can be relevant on the page level because they're news websites. Which brings me to point number 5, which is examine the competitor's anchor text. So after a quick examination, I noticed 2 things. First, there are a few exact match domains doing well, and second, they're using aggressive keyword-rich anchor texts. So based on this, I know I can be more aggressive with my anchor text. And keep in mind, it's extremely unlikely you'll get penalized using a few keyword-rich anchors from quality sources, and you're linking to informational pieces of content. It only starts to get dangerous when you're using low-quality link sources, you're linking to a weak page, or you're blasting the page with many keyword-rich anchors. So just to review, number 1, determine the budget. Number 2, find the page level backlink gap and consider the domain authority. Number 3, find relevant opportunities. For local keywords, start with local opportunities. Number 4, examine the competitors and their anchor texts. So now you know everything you need to know about buying backlinks. My recommendation is to build internal systems to manage most of your link building efforts, use vendors to supplement your efforts, and always be on the lookout for possible acquisitions. So that's all I have for you today. So if you like this video, please like it and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.